left off on somewhat of a cliffhanger last time. Almost literally. We're getting there one of these days. Leave you guys on a cliff as well.
It was an average movie.
Wow.
uh, but to begin with, I think we need a recap.
Oh, I didn't do the thing where I ask you guys what you think about it.
We're
So
doing it live.
here we go. It's from Java's perspective. I don't have Java voice. So Java said these things in his head. This is unfortunate. Grav tanks are coming. And are those grav fighters? We've attracted way too much attention. There's a chance, a slim one, that that cave over there might have some friendlies in it, or at least some cover. I guess that's our only option right now. Narrow is helping me get up the mountain. Nick and Cade are behind, creating a distraction. It looks like they've got the gas tank connected to an igniter. That should make for a good explosion for Brother Nick's movie. Hope this drone is watching. Not once but twice we were hit with weapons, heavy weapons on our way to the cave, and this mission seemed like a total failure up until the point that we made it to the cave, where we found our target and requested extraction.
All right. Sounds about right. Java was kind of glossed over the scary parts, but hey, it's his own editorialized version.
Gonna say
He's
He's
allowed
not scared.
he's earned that right, okay?
He
If
was
this is
dead.
his trauma response, it's okay.
to. Yeah. Yeah, I got hit a couple times by heavy weapons. No big deal.
MPD.
We,
I
we
guess
good, man.
he wasn't there to see Saoirse throwing trees or boulders or whatever it was she did.
Oh yeah, true. He may be wondering anymore what it feels like, what the difference is between actually dying and just getting knocked out for a second. That actually brings up an interesting question, but maybe for another time. uh, anyways, yeah. So you guys made it to the cave through withering bombardment of airstrikes. Uh, Saoirse had had a little fun chucking trees down the mountainside, and then your teleporter backup made it in safe and sound,
Mm-hmm.
but all fresh out of effort to spend, and you all made it down the rope into another little cavern where you
Mm.
found the missing Urallan resistance fighters. We pretty much left off there.
There you go.
So, what do you guys want to start with? We've got grav tank and troops on the way. Um, Probably somewhere in the ballpark of 15 to 30 minutes, at least for the grav tank, maybe a little longer for the troops that were having to dodge the telekinetic bombardment.
Well, if the teleporter only needs 15 minutes, then do we need to worry about the grav tanks or the others?
Mm,
Did you say the wrong times, Ben?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. How far away were the tanks again? And troops?
Yeah, somewhere in the ballpark of 15 to 30 minutes.
And how long were you saying it's going to take our teleporter to recharge?
Yeah, so it's a scene. Yeah, so pretty much up until they hello?
Oh, I
Said
don't know if I
pretty much.
cut the
You guys,
internet.
hey, can you guys hear me?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
you may
Oh,
be
okay.
breaking up a little bit though.
Oh, okay, yeah. I say because I said something and then nobody responded. I was like, uh, am I coming through clear enough now?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you saying both or would take the same amount of time, roughly? Him regaining his effort and the tanks getting up to the cave?
Yeah, because I haven't been. We haven't been
Oh, sorry.
very. We haven't chosen like an exact amount of time for a scene, so I'd say you guys, it'll be a new scene by the time they arrive.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So basically, we're at the point of we need to prepare for the arrival of grav tanks and the troops that they carry. We don't have to worry too much about the grav tanks because they can't get past. They can't get into the cave, right?
Correct.
Um. And did Saoirse collapse in it buy us any more time, or at least give us some good fortifications?
Hopefully so.
Yeah. Um. Well, I think maybe our first point, if we're expecting that those grav tanks might roll up on us while we're still in this cave, then we should probably try and pick the best place to make a stand until the teleporter can get us out. Whether that's on the upper level, that from where we just came from, or down here. Down here seems bad because it seems like they could just start chucking grenades in.
Yeah, and there is, you can see there is the cavern. It gets narrower and much smaller at the back, but you can see there are some openings. Uh, one kind of at what you would think of as the back of this little cavern, and there's another one uh, kind of up into the side.
Okay, so we're not in a enclosed hole. There are other exits from here.
Yeah,
Uh, well, I guess setting up and fortifying a defensive position isn't our only option. We could also split up and just kind of take to various tunnels and force them to split up too.
Do we even know how many tunnels are in this tunnel?
what do you mean how many tunnels? Like how basically how deep it goes?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. Oh, whoops, I changed the color of that one. Oh, whatever.
Have they explored any of it?
So if you ask them that, uh, they would say no, not very far. Uh, you might also notice that there's one of them at the back of the group who has his gun actually pretty much at the ready, and he's facing that back opening, the cave.
Ah, okay. So there might be a risk of something coming at us from both sides.
Yeah, the we'll say you're speaking with Reese, the guy that you'd met before, who was the commander last you knew, and is the apparent commander of this force as well. And he seems a little bit embarrassed to admit this, but he says they have not explored these caverns yet. Uh, they heard some things moving deeper in the darkness, and they've been heard some more stirring along with the shaking of the missile strikes above, and they haven't been interested in finding out what was back there.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense too. So I think that puts us down to two options. Um, fortify a position and wait them out against our teleporter, or explore caves, create a path, and bring the Uralans with us. I don't think the second option is very good considering how many of the Uralans are injured.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with that.
We risk them having a psionic capable of jamming our teleporter, though.
We have a psionic capable of jamming their jammer.
True.
We have a better scion.
How many people can he teleport in one go?
Can take 6 with him.
Okay, and there's now how many of us?
There are 12 of them, not counting the teleporter. 12 that you found down in the cave, that is. And then there are the, 6 of you, counting Tom?
Yeah, that works out fairly decent. So even if they if they get here 5 minutes before he's ready, then we're in for a long slog. But
Yeah.
otherwise,
Now, the other question, um, if he's burdened, he's only going to be able to make 2 trips before he's out of effort for the scene again.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting. I was waiting for that other shoe to drop.
So he'll be able to teleport 6 of them out, and then teleport back. Teleport 6 of them out, and then he could teleport back, but it would be pointless because he would have to wait 15 minutes. He may as well just stay in safety and hope that we live another 15 minutes.
He would actually have to torch even to get back.
Okay. Gotcha. So he's basically he's got 4 and he's spending 2. He's got 5 and he's spending 2 each time he takes a group with him.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
Sounds like when he takes the second group, we have to secure the area somehow, or we have to go somewhere else secure for him to be able to take the second group, rest, and return.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And we can't go anywhere that he hasn't been, so we can't just abandon the lower cave and go into the caves unless we take him with us right now to explore them.
Yeah.
So, how many demo charges you got left there, Brother Nick?
I believe 2 now.
Okay. How would we feel about setting up demo charges in the upper room, making a stand there so that the teleporter can safely get the Urolans out, and then all of us jumping down that hole. Maybe not jumping down because it's 50 feet. Getting down that hole safely.
I mean, hey, you've got Saoirse.
We do
It's
have
a little
Saoirse.
drop.
Can she make an elevator for us?
Oh no, that's not what I meant.
Oh, yeah, true.
Wow.
But an
Go ahead and
elevator
jump
would be
sheet,
cool
Helia.
too.
No comment.
I mean, you can't tell me that Nara wouldn't at least consider doing something insanely reckless and getting super injured, knowing that Saoirse can just put her back together in a blink.
Only if she thinks there's a chance she would not get injured, because injuries still hurt. So if she was convinced that she could jump down there, tap her feet, and go into a roll and come up safely, knowing that if she failed, there's still Saoirse, yes, she would.
Well, Java gets to be in the back of the group. I'm just saying it now.
Yeah.
Java's probably thinking he's pretty invincible if Saoirse can just keep bringing them back from the dead.
Oh my!
My
can
sister
hear-
says otherwise.
I can hear burnt out, sassy healer Saoirse now, just like, like I'm not here to just help you cheat death constantly.
Actually, on that point, I don't like suggesting it because it takes 2 PCs out, but the state that Java and Brother Nick are in, we might want to send them instead of and leave 2 Urolans with us, 2 fighting capable Urolans. Because
That is true.
Urolans will not die by having a pebble thrown at them.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, I guess we could do that. Cade still has his combat drone. It's not got a lot of hit points left, just
Yeah.
so you remember.
Yeah.
Oh, did we get a supply count on what these rebels had brought with them? If they got some more weapons.
Yeah, it's got
or
18
grenades.
hit points.
Oh yeah. Before you answer that, Ben, I totally got off track from my plan. So we make a stand up top, while the Uralans and or Nick and Java are teleported out, and when we're ready, we retreat back down, and basically have demo charges already set up to just collapse that tunnel up there, that cave up there, so that it's blocking the entrance down. If I visualized it correctly, then the opening up top shouldn't let that kind of explosion bury us. It would almost certainly let some dirt through, but it shouldn't bury us. Or is that wrong?
So wait, you're wanting to try to obstruct the shaft down to the lower area without it completely burying you all in that chamber?
Yeah, because I kind of had this image that the chamber extends farther back from the shaft. Like
Picturing as kind of a Z shape, maybe.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So you're picturing. Let's see here. Let's do it
I
this
was
way.
about to start doodling.
yeah, let's use arts.
All the arts.
So basically, without getting too detailed, you're you're picturing it as though these guys, like this is basically mirrored here, upper and lower. Yeah.
What?
Oh, sorry. Up top of the landing page, just to the right of our character
I'm looking at it.
names.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I see the upper.
Sorry, wrong side.
Yeah, well, not really. I thought it went the other way, but either way, I thought that the shaft, which is where I'm imagining you've got right. Okay, you lower over here.
Right.
The shaft came down, and then there was more um cave past the shaft.
Oh, got you. So you're picturing it being more like this, and the upper
No,
on the upper end. Oh,
is this a top-down view?
yeah, top down.
Okay, yeah. So I'm picturing basically how you've got it there on the lower
Okay,
side. But if there's an avalanche that comes down this shaft, then it wouldn't really spill out into this area, would it?
correct, correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it would some, but not enough to actually bury us.
yeah, correct.
Of
So let me
course,
just.
now we have to ask who amongst us actually has that kind of knowledge.
That mining knowledge.
Would Brother Nick from all the demolitions he's done?
That is a good question.
Has he done a lot of demolition?
He has since he's
Blew
been
up
with
that
us.
factory.
Yeah, since being with us, Brother Nick has done all the booms.
Yeah.
I think, so I was going back and reading the rules. With fix, or with the level of fix I have, I can work them into shape charges. So
Yes,
that
you
would at
could.
least let us direct the blast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Brother Nick, off the top of his head, would have the geology or mining knowledge to say whether that setting off even a shape charge would just bring the whole cave down on top of us. Hopefully, we have the force constructs that maybe could help us tank some of the
Well,
damage of any blowback.
I think if we're worried that it would bring the entire cave down on us, if we don't have the in character knowledge, then my suggestion isn't really a good suggestion. We don't have the in character skill to support it.
Well, what I would say, um, yeah, I would say it's definitely would be a dangerous thing. You wouldn't want to count on being safe in that chamber below. Now, deeper into the mountain, that's a entirely different question.
Anybody else got ideas how we can weather this oncoming storm?
The oncoming storm being a bunch of Tabukan military pouring down the hole.
Yes.
What if we just put a rock on the hull? And then it just looks like a rock in a cave.
Or we take down the ladder, and then I could telekinetically put it back.
Well, in theory, we don't have to go back up.
Yeah.
We could just take it down. Brother Nick could bury like one of the detonation charges as a shaped charge pointing up in the wall. So if they do start to come down on a ladder, we just detonate that thing and the whole wall starts to tumble down into the hole as we're retreating back into the cave.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm drawing up a dirty or quick and
It
dirty
would slow them
diagram
down.
Oh no. We're back to burial.
here. So I think we use our 2 shape charges. One around where Saoirse had collapsed the entrance of the cave. And I guess that's kind of our test run. If we'd feel comfortable using the second one.
How much weight can Saoirse lift? Like telekinetically?
Like a ridiculous amount.
800
Hold on.
kilograms.
Yeah.
That's around
Hypothetical
1,700 pounds.
big rock over hole. Who's moving that?
Well, I guess this is all saying if they can move the amount of dirt she was able to telekinetically move, bringing the cave mouth down. I guess it would buy us time for sure.
Let's see. So who among you would be the most knowledgeable about military weapons and capabilities and such?
I guess that would probably be Saoirse.
Saoirse or
Hmm,
Nero,
okay.
maybe.
Yeah, or Nero.
Oh, and Nero's a
think-
Weapon
secondary.
magazines.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Saoirse was just a field medic, really. So she would have been around that stuff, but not really using it. Whereas I
Yeah.
feel like Nero would have been privy to actually using
Hmm.
it.
It was more on the receiving side.
Yeah. I'd allow either one of them to make a no check.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and go for it? Saoirse's got actual military training, even as a medic. And neither of
Okay.
us has a reroll, so one is just as good as the other.
All right. I'm gonna use. Should I use wisdom or intelligence for this? Doesn't really matter. Just curious
Either
what
one
you're.
is fine. Okay. So I'd say that Saoirse has seen firsthand what a typical grav tank could do, and she thinks that the rubble she left in the mouth of the cave, the the cave in that she created, should slow them down, but it will by no means stop a grav tank.
Yeah, but a grav tank firing into the cave, wouldn't that collapse it? Like the whole cave.
Possibly.
So if they're gonna just try to kill us outright with no confirmation, then they'll just do that without waiting. Otherwise, I think they would try to come in first.
So it's sounding more and more like we need to abandon this holding them off plan. Um, explore
Then
the
switch to
caves.
the
Yeah,
avoiding them plan.
yeah. Explore the caves. Get the teleporter to a place in the caves where we can hide, and then just collapse that the shaft so that there's nothing really for them to come down to. Maybe try to time the demo charge or coordinate it with their arrival or their grav tank blasting so that it looks like it just happened and oops, I guess they're dead. But if we do that, we have to start exploring those caves and find somewhere for the teleporter to come back to. preferably not a 3-foot wide, 10-foot long tunnel with lots of tiny little holes in it for spiders to crawl out of.
I'm for going in the cave. I think they would try realistically to just completely collapse the
Yeah,
tunnel. I mean, if they do that, they're not following us in there, and if we've made it a safe enough depth, then we should just be able to wait it out.
yeah.
All for retreat then?
Yep.
I think it's the only option
Yeah.
that Saoirse would think viable.
Now, there was mention of a demolition charge. You guys talking putting that up at the, somewhere around where the rope is secured right now?
Yeah, if we could basically make it look like them blasting a hole through Saoirse's fortifications, just kind of caused a whole cave in. We don't want it to make it. We don't want to make it look like we collapsed it ourselves.
Okay.
If that's something that we could pull off in the time we have.
Yeah, you've definitely got time. Um, what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Do not look.
Okay.
Word.
Temptation is growing. I know it's an out of character chat.
No, it's not relevant.
So anyways, on a totally unrelated note, you suddenly hear the sound of drums coming from deep in the cave.
He looked.
What?
He lied to us and looked.
I made no such promise. As I said, unrelated. No, no drums. Uh, yeah, it would only take a couple minutes for somebody to climb back up there, place a demolition charge up there. Probably would try to put it on the wall just over the hole.
Okay.
Make it a little bit more direct on the wall slash ceiling above it, so that it'll collapse as much as possible.
Can I do it as the shape charge?
Yeah, you can do it as a shape charge. Are you wanting to direct it up into the wall or ceiling?
Yeah, I think direct it up.
Okay.
What's your purpose with the shape charge, Ethan?
I think, yeah, so it's saying normally they explode out up to 40 meters.
Mm-hmm.
So it would, damage the cave in every direction,
Oh.
which I think would do more damage, maybe to the whole cave system.
Okay, so you're not specifically trying to shape it into the Lancy thing. You're basically just saying shape it into a shape that achieves the desired effect and not 40 meters
Yeah,
of destruction.
I think just point it up so that it brings some rubble down onto the hole and into the upper cave without, just rattling the whole cave.
Yeah, the geometry of exactly the area of effect of a shaped charge is kind of variable. So yeah, but
Okay.
we can leave it somewhat loose and say that the you can aim it upward at the ceiling and minimize the destruction to the cave at large.
And that actually makes it look even more like the grav tank caused it. Hopefully. All right. So is it Nero doing the climbing then?
Oh, I think he'd have to go up to shape it. Brother Nick.
Now he could pre-shape it. Just tell her which way to point it. But either way,
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know how
that'll probably
hard
work
Ben is
better.
gonna be on you for Brother Nick being in the shape he's in.
Yeah, it'd probably work better with
yeah. I
the
mean,
current condition.
I'll just be clear, mechanically speaking, and I think Saoirse would have the knowledge to convey this in, you know, somewhat abstract, well, whatever. Maybe not abstracted term. Yeah, I guess abstracted terms, in real world terms, that Brother Nick and Java are both, if they take damage, again, they'll just die.
Okay.
I guess being brought to zero again, at least because they got a little bit of HP. They more HP than they would normally have, but yeah,
Oh right.
got it. But
I'm
that's
getting
all they
don't
get.
I'm getting don't collapse the cave vibes.
I think
Well,
it's more
This is
like
definitely
good.
don't climb and fall vibes.
Normally, I'm a fan of those vibes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, definitely don't fall. Also, don't collapse the cave on Brother Nick or Cade. You could drop it on probably anybody else. Um,
Yeah, so he'll send the charge up with Nero.
Okay.
Thanks, I'm glad I'm special. Don't collapse the cave on me.
I think he meant
oh,
Java.
I meant Java. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
yeah.
gonna
Never
say.
mind. You're totally allowed to drop it on Cade.
See, I knew it was.
It's
I
that.
knew I was disposable.
All right.
Get
Yeah.
rid of those
Nero climbs up.
pesky 15s on program checks. Oh man, I'm kidding. All right, so Nero climbs on up. Give me an exert check.
Okay.
Okay. She seems to be mending well, and starts going hand over fist up the rope with relative ease.
Yeah. Time is of the essence here.
Okay, so she can go and place the shaped charge. Meanwhile, that's gonna take a couple of minutes, uh, maybe a few minutes. What's everybody else up to?
Climbing down.
Maybe Cade will task the drone to seek ahead along their retreat path.
Mm, okay.
Scout out with the drone since it's the most disposable out of all of them.
All right. So the combat drone is going to
Yep.
scout ahead. Um, you will probably want to strap a flashlight to it or something like that.
Okay, he'll pull a flashlight out of his survival pack, and, like the equivalent of paracord, and just like tie it on the front first.
We need to buy a
Click it
bunch
on.
of glow
Ah!
bugs.
Blinded. That's true. We had a couple of those, so you could turn a couple, like two of those on and stick it on it.
Oh yeah, that's good too. Just let it light up all the area around it, but also give it
Yeah,
some long distance illumination
yeah.
as well.
Can you
Do
control
those
the
and
color
then
of those glow bugs?
and then send it slowly cruising down the tunnel, mapping the area as best you can.
Make one red, one blue, and
I
make
was
them
thinking the
flash.
exact same thing.
Oh, I was gonna say just red, so we don't wreck our night vision.
Hmm.
But
Okay,
I don't
the drone will
remember
be going by
flipping
stealth.
anything like that in the rules, but it's up to the GM.
Oh, you're right. The rules say nothing about regular light messing with your Night vision.
No, the glow bugs.
Oh, it
Oh,
does specifically say a white light.
It does, it
illuminating
does.
everything with intent.
oh,
Okay.
bummer.
But you could put
Okay,
a
so
plastic film over it. Come on. We have spent way too much time on the color of these glow bugs.
who's got the translucent red film for
Says,
the
who
glow
says
bug?
it's too much time?
Well, Brother Nick always keeps a red Sharpie and some
Oh my.
Do I sense a precog here? Um, yeah. If, I'll say in all seriousness, I'm sure that Brother Nick would have the equipment to do something like that.
Nah. Kate already sends it down the tunnel. Just
Yeah.
it's not important.
I'm picturing Cade like having, you know, s- slapped all the lights on there, and Brother Nick like comes out of his toolbox, saran wrap in one hand, red Sharpie in the other, looking all, enthused, and then Cade's just like, and flies the drone off. Nope. Um. All right, so the drone goes on ahead down.
Yeah.
So,
Oh no.
let's see then. So, which are you going at the back of the cave or the one at the side of the cave?
I'm assuming that neither of them shows obvious signs that this is the way out.
It's
Just
that
that there
the
could
one the
be.
guy was guarding. We probably want to know what's down there one way or the other.
Wait, can I request something? Can we check to see if there's any airflow coming from either
That's
one?
true.
Ooh, could the survey scanner help with any of that, Ben?
I mean, Kate also has survival knowledge, so anybody with survival would have a good chance of knowing that.
True. Go ahead and give me a survive check from Cade. And airflow. And I'm trying to think here. There was another question, wasn't there?
Using or a survey scanner.
Oh, right, survey scanner. I think the survey scanner is more like more like for taking samples and analyzing those. Um, but I mean, it could tell. It can do like atmospheric analysis. But not necessarily um, the other. We'll say a nav comp could potentially help if you get too deep into the tunnels, um, just to help you not get lost.
I don't think Kate has one of those.
And it looks like I left the one I had. Someone else get a nav comp? And here's hoping they brought it.
Um, you guys all packed for a wilderness trip. I would say that one of you, if not Brother Nick himself, would have thought to grab a nav comp, since Brother Nick had it.
I've got 3 encumbrance worth of miscellaneous wilderness gear. Is it in there?
Yeah, it can be in there.
Okay.
And so Cade checks for airflow at both of the the little cavern mouths, and doesn't feel anything at either of them.
Okay. Um, perhaps he'll go down the route that the guy was guarding.
Okay. Down the back then.
Yep.
So he sends the combat drone on ahead. And is this one also 100-kilometer range?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think the default is 100-kilometer range unless you have some other like tweak to it. Double checking real fast.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
trying to think. I knew there was.
Range.
they all have different ranges.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember which model of drone this is. I had just seen that. Drone. This is a PAX, which gives it a 100-kilometer range.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna
It
say
just so happened to be the ones that have the long ranges.
I was pretty sure you guys had picked pretty beefy ones.
Yeah, we did.
All right, so yeah, you won't run into that anytime soon. So it starts along, and this little opening is about 4 feet high, and not quite as wide. And
Okay.
flying along this little tunnel uh, twists and turns a bit, and is angled down from the start, but takes a bit of a slightly steeper dip for a minute or so. It gets a little bit narrower at a couple of those points, but never so small that a person couldn't squeeze through. And then it opens up into a somewhat larger space. And through the camera feed of the drone, you can hear uh, some some small water movement somewhere in this larger cavern.
Ooh.
And it seems like you come out a little ways up one side, um, maybe a 5 meter drop down to sort of the floor of this cavern, and there's some stalagmites and stalactites.
Cool. It's a
And
decent direction ahead. At least we'll have fresh water.
mm-hmm, as the drone comes out into the cavern, which it spreads out a bit before you. Um, you want to head up, down, straight through the middle, kind of get a feel of the whole thing. What are you?
Probably get a view of the whole thing, and then head upwards.
Okay. So starts you start navigating around uh, to one side, and then you hear flapping and some little shrieks.
Angry Birds.
And it seems like you've upset some bats.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
We're hoping they're just
a small
That's the
swarm.
worst.
uh, small swarm of them flit down through the view of the camera and flap around for a bit, going out of view back behind, and uh, but you can continue on. They don't come and attack the drone or anything. And going all the way around, it seems like it's something like 30 meters across, roughly, symmetrical, kind of circular cavern. and you notice there's just a small stream running through a fairly deep crevice, few feet deep through in the middle of the cavern, going from one end to the other. And there are little lines of where water has run from a couple different sides of the cavern into that crevice.
Well, he's mainly looking for where the water came from because water always goes down. He's looking to know where do I go if I want out since water comes
Hmm.
down.
Yeah,
That's
so
his
he
primary goal.
okay. So he follows the water upstream a little bit and pretty much comes to a wall where there's just the tiniest crack, and the water seems to be flowing out of that crack. It's worn smooth, but it's definitely too small. And looking in, it doesn't look like it's just basically it's just solid rock back behind. There's some little uh, channel for the water to come through.
Hmm. Well, he's not going to give up. He's going to keep looking to see if there's some other place that he can miss.
Okay. Um, Meanwhile, Nera will have made her way up to the top of the shaft and planted the demo
Sarah
charge.
show widen it telekinetically.
Um, Not likely.
Let
Depending
me
on how.
use my demo charge.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on how
We'll let
how
you
much
use your demo charges, sir.
how much stone is you know if it doesn't at a glance it doesn't seem like, oh, it's just a crack and there's it's just a stone wall and then there's another cavern on the other side. It looks like it's just the wall of a cavern, and there's water trickling down through the rock somehow through there. Uh,
Yeah. Remember,
and
as
it's
long as we can get our teleporter eyes on this place, we don't actually have to escape it.
Exactly.
mhm,
Good
yeah,
enough place to hide, has water,
you just need to get your
etc.
teleporter into whatever place you're going to rendezvous with him in the next, you know, in the second 30-ish minutes.
Sure. Kate will at least show what he's seen to Sirsha, point out he's found source of fresh water, decent area to hide with a large group of people, and easy enough to rendezvous back in if we have to abandon it temporarily and then wait for the teleporter to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
All
All
right.
right, and so Nero has come back down to the main room with everybody else. Kate is, uh, he's just explored the apparent source of the water in the cavern and is now continuing around and looking for some sort of other tunnel entrance. Um, he does find um, basically on the far side of the cavern from where he'd come in. There's another little tunnel. Uh, it, it's, it starts with just you know kind of like a larger indention, or what is it, concave
A
space divided.
concave cave.
Yeah. uh,
Wow.
that that then
Hey,
narrows
Ben started
into an
it.
actual tunnel.
You can't blame me for this.
That's like
And
victim blaming.
And in the light, the light into the tunnel glints off of a few pairs of eyes that seem to be suspended from the top of the little tunnel.
Cade will aim the flashlight in the direction of the eyes.
Okay. Several of them close, but a few of them flap and fly off from the tunnel. And with this vantage, he notices that they're fairly large as far as he knows, as as bats go. Um, and they're kind of they're what am I trying to say? They're little claws. They're holding on to some kind of moss that's growing all along the ceiling of that tunnel.
Pathetic.
And they fly out and they flap around the drone for a moment and then fly off into the cavern.
Cade will show it to one of the Uralan soldiers and say, "Do y'all normally have bats this size here?"
uh he looks at the image and kind of shrugs. I don't know. I don't really like going into caves. Don't know much about bats. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the help.
He kind of dry washes his hands and squirms a little bit subconsciously as he turns away.
Clearly, he loves animals.
Who is it?
The soldier.
One of the soldiers, yeah, one that hasn't
Yeah.
gotten a name yet. You could ask him his name.
What's
I
his
never
name?
heard of it. LOL. It wasn't me. I'm just gonna point out, Ben, it was not.
His name is George.
George.
I hate him already.
Wow.
Why do you hate him already?
Rude.
I dislike
What did
George.
George do to you?
It's something another George did.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Dear.
Oh my.
Both of those are relatively accurate. Not gonna lie.
I mean, it's not his fault his parents named him George.
It's alright.
Are you sure?
Maybe he just looked like a George as a baby. That is pretty much his fault.
True. It is his fault.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was the parents' fault. But okay.
I was thinking, what do I know?
George is more of a mood than an image.
George is a mood.
Hawaiian.
Dex. Our one viewer tonight is going to be named George. I'm just calling it now. Yeah, that might be a little rude. George might be
Click the
offended.
nice one, and then I get that one.
Oh no!
There was a nice Animal Crossing one.
Yeah.
I've apparently stirred up an entire pot I didn't realize was there.
Guy just hunches his shoulders and goes stands in the corner by himself.
It's not like Saoirse has a problem with Georges.
Probably shuddering like
Like feels something off in the atmosphere. Clearly the
Like a
bats.
giant bat is looking at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Are we able to do a spot check on or progress check on the grav tank and see if our estimates will align? Because I'd really like to get the Urolans out of this cave before the grav tank gets here.
Yeah.
I don't want
Ooh.
anybody in that lower portion when the grav tank starts blasting, and I don't want to move them.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ben, we have no connection to the spy drone outside because of the cave, correct?
Correct.
Did Saoirse
So yeah,
completely close up the thing when she came back in?
She did.
Okay, never mind then.
At least that was what I understood as being the goal.
Okay, so then
Yeah, it was the goal, but we didn't know if you had allowed it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
now that it's convenient for you, I see how that goes.
It's not my fault you didn't remember what you did last time. Um, so, Cade, were you wanting to... Well, okay. Sorry, let me back up a little bit. So, Dex, you're asking about a spot check. Oh, because you're thinking of using a drone to determine that. Okay.
Well, no, I thought that there was still a hole that we could peek through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted some way. It didn't even have to be the hole. Just any way of estimating if the if we need to move these Urolans.
Yeah, I got you.
well, can Saoirse's skill work as uh like earthbending earth sense?
Oh man, I was gonna say she could undo some of what she did.
Oh,
But
that's a great idea. Let's just let the soldiers in. Nice try, Ben.
if you were
No,
going to, if you're gonna make a hole to peek out of, it would let you know maybe a few seconds before the grav tank showed up and is ready to start blasting.
that's not
So
helpful.
I figured it might not be.
So let's move the Urolans as far back away from potential cave-in as we can. And I mean, we've got that demo charge on our remote, so we don't have to blow it when the grav tank shoots, right?
Correct.
And ultimately, it's us that decides when that cave-in happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it a terrible? Is it as terrible of an idea as it sounds to just wait and hope that the teleporter recharges before the grav tank starts blasting?
Eh.
And in that time, obviously, we want to escort the teleporter down to that cave that Cade found and get his eyes on it.
And now
Well, yeah.
he will need to be, he'll need to go to whatever part of the cave you want him to come back to. Not just have seen it,
Well, yeah.
but yes. So yeah, I was gonna say you would want him to do that before he, recovers his effort and then starts teleporting people away, unless
Oh
you
yeah,
want to ask him to torch to
no,
get back.
no. Well, I
Okay.
mean, maybe, but no.
My.
He probably would say no. I
I,
wouldn't blame him.
I feel like this is enough of a situation that could merit it. I just instantly say no to torching because it's terrible, but I've never had a character that was literally being faced down with a grav tank, and the quickest way out was, "Hey, dude, could you torch for us?" Well, not
Also,
quickest,
who's gonna
safest.
bring that up?
That's a good question.
Cade wouldn't even know to bring it up.
Nah,
Just
neither would Nero.
for the record.
Cop out.
Nero is perfectly
Cop out.
content to trust. If he says that he can't, he has to wait for another 15 minutes, then that's what it is. But yeah, I agree. Robert is copping out.
Hey now, how am I copping out?
Oh man.
Cade wouldn't know.
Hmm.
I'm refusing to
Yeah.
metagame. That's not copping out.
Getting out of dodge on a technicality.
So what's it gonna take for us to get him on location? We probably don't need him to be like in the exact cave that we're going to be in. We just need him to be somewhere that seems safe from both potential cave inception. If the cave in causes another cave in, um, and also safe from furry little bats, furry big bats.
Okay.
So what's it going to take to get his feet in position?
You guys just need to
Probably
talk to him, and
parries.
he's gonna need to crouch down and start making his way through that little windy tunnel.
Can one of us escort him?
By all means.
Yeah. If nobody else wants to, Nero will go as long as Cade's leading them with a drone.
So this is to just get the teleporter down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cade will lead him with the drone.
Okay.
Sure.
While they're doing this, Saoirse is going to check and see if any of the Uralans need healing.
Okay.
Because that had been mentioned.
They definitely do,
Okay.
and they will ask for such. Once they'll gladly accept it, I should say, once you bring it up. And Reese is surprised. I don't think you had revealed this to them before.
Would he say anything to her, or would he just look surprised?
Yeah, once she mentions that to him, asks if any of his soldiers need some healing, and explains, he would shake his head at her and say, "I guess it's a good thing you didn't mention this before, because probably would have asked you to stick around. Might have asked really nicely." He kind of gestures with his arm in a sling at her. But yes, please,
I think
have at it.
that was the conversation that Saoirse and Nero had, wasn't it?
It was a conversation, yeah.
Like, wasn't it with Reese, or was it?
It was when we were at the weapons guy's apartment, I
Oh, we
think.
had been to Reese's and seen the wounded, and that's what the conversation was about, wasn't it?
I'll have to go back and read it, but it was something. But when he says, good thing I didn't know that, or would have asked you to stick around, or asked really nicely, she'll give him kind of like a grin, but sort of a grimace, and she'll say, "Well, maybe you can ask me another time. For now, I can do what I can." And that might have been the reason I didn't tell you in the first place.
Yeah, he seems to understand exactly what she means. But that's fair. I'll take what I can get. Thank you.
Well, Thanks for dropping the bar for me, I guess.
He doesn't seem to know what to say to that.
Sorry, just force of habit. Don't
Alrighty
worry.
then. Um, should I be worried?
She's gonna kind of turn a little red because she feels so socially awkward right now that she just like dropped an awkward joke and made him
There's-
feel uncomfortable.
He throws his head back and laughs. I'm I'm messing with you now. Just yeah, go ahead. Don't worry about it.
She'll go ahead and heal his arm. Should be able to heal it from being broken, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm assuming you don't want me to roll for all of the Urolans that I'm healing.
Yeah. No. It's a pretty safe bet. You'll heal them all up to full or near enough, as makes no difference with a single hit. Um, Now his injuries and one others are going to require the major organ restoration, which I think is just, I don't remember if it's for the scene or for the day.
Mm.
Oh wait, no, just kidding. It actually doesn't require any extra. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's funny. I had actually just read a post calling out Crawford for he had said unless it requires extra effort such as this and this, and somebody was like, but it doesn't, and he's like, yeah, I removed it, and then forgot to change the text, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what you get, Crawford, for putting everything everywhere. Put things in order.
Oh my.
Exactly. Wait, shh. Don't summon him. Don't want to bring his displeasure down on our
Oh my.
channel. Uh, this isn't a Reddit comment. Probably won't see it.
Nah, he is allergic to social media, and this is media and it's social.
Uh,
Oh.
so yeah, she can go around fixing everybody up while
Mm-hmm.
Narrow and Teleporter go and make their way through the tunnel, uh, crouching and at times having to get on hands and knees and crawl through some of the tighter spots. And a few minutes later, uh, Narrow and the teleporter are approaching the cavern. Oh, did Cade want to do anything else with the drone? He found another tunnel back at the back of that cavern, but oh, he's muted.
Hate to see it.
We'll
No.
oh,
No, Cade was just looking for a safe place, mainly seeing where it went through all
okay.
that.
Okie dokie then. Yeah, so Narrow and Teleporter come out into the cavern. I guess with it. And they can see off in the other side of the cavern. They can see the drone lighting up quite a bit of space around it, hovering over this other tunnel entrance. Are you telling him any particular spot you plan to rendezvous with him at?
If If the drone seems to be indicating go here, or if Cade can communicate to us to go here, then sure. But I, as a player, don't really think it's necessary as long as this guy can get himself to where he can see this entire cave. Uh, we're probably going to be in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't have to
Okay.
teleport to within 2 inches of us. He just needs to teleport to where he can come and join us.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he would rather get within 2 inches of us, then sure, he can go join the drone.
Okay. Yeah, he does. He would ask if Nero hasn't volunteered it. He would say, "So, where am I supposed to meet you exactly?
Here,
I need to stand there." Oh,
I
he looks a little confused.
she's like motions to the cave to where the drone is.
Oh, okay. He glances down. I didn't think you'd want to. Well, okay.
Do you want to climb
Oh,
back up that?
I'll be right back. And um, as she watches, he blinks out of sight and appears uh, down on the floor of the cavern, and then in a few little blips, basically hops across the cavern, disappearing and appearing again, um, until he's close to the opposite tunnel mouth, and actually loses his footing for just a moment and he lets out a little surprised yelp, and
Uh
Nara hears lots of flapping of wings and little bat screeches.
Oh my.
Did he fall down a hole? Cade's gonna maneuver the drone to look.
No, he's fine.
At
He's
least embarrass him.
oh.
Show him
he
looking all wet.
throws his hand up to shield his eyes.
Poor George.
He does have like a bit of water on one side of his clothes. It's like splattered up one side too. Um, and he says, "I'm all right." And then bats some of the bats actually swoop down at him,
Oh boy.
My.
and he yells out in surprise.
Can Nero shoot at the bats?
Yeah, she can shoot at the bats.
Cade would too.
Oh my.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, both of you make
Vampire bats.
yeah, do like a just make like a shoot check, uh, or sorry, not a shoot check, like an attack roll for each of you. The one with
Okay.
the
Pew.
drone. Yeah, pew pew.
Make a pew
And
pew.
okay, so the cave is lit up with brilliant flashes of light, and several bats are are dropped with kind of squelching blasts and smell of burning flesh.
Oh my.
And Teleport himself teleports back uh, quickly across the cavern, and All right. And the bats are swirling in something of a tizzy, but after plenty of laser fire, the remaining bats all swarm down into that tunnel on the other side and out of sight. And in a few seconds, the man appears next to Nero again, um, breathing a little heavily, and holding a hand against one of his arms and checking. Wow, those little beasts drew blood.
You should get that checked. They have rabies.
Oh, yeah, I definitely don't want that. Um,
Arrow just making everybody feel encouraged and happy tonight.
She was a farmer.
um, so
I'm sure she's saying it in as laid back a way as possible.
right.
Yeah, classic
Um,
Nero style. They have rabies. That's laid back, right?
oh man, yeah. So yeah, she and the teleporter can start making their way back, but as they're going along, um, he he keeps kind of rubbing at that spot,
Oh
and
no.
Are they poisonous?
Of course they are.
How far back were they?
was about like a 5 minute little trek,
So not too far.
not too far,
If
and
Nero sees as he keeps rubbing at it, she's gonna try and pull him along. Come on, hurry
okay,
up.
I'm coming, and he's like, I mean, I could get back quicker without you.
Okay, go.
Okay, and he disappears.
Nero will say into the comms, he got bit by something with rabies. He needs help.
um,
What are you poking at?
and um, Cade over to the one side with the drone controller, trying not to look suspicious.
Try not to look
Hmm.
suspicious. Like, what do you mean by that?
I'm teasing, like, doesn't want Saoirse asking him, like, wait, what happened in there? Uh, no, but a few seconds later, he'll appear in the middle of the cavern and glances around, finds Saoirse, and says, holding one of his arms, I think you could take care of this. And he his hand away just to show her the bite marks on his arm.
She's gonna kind of. What is? How bad does it look? Let me ask you that.
It doesn't look particularly bad. I mean, there's a little bit of blood running down his arm, but it's not like he's just gushing. Um,
But is there like,
and
does it look discolored at all, or does it
it
look?
it looks a little irritated, like a little puffy, but not to her trained eye, it doesn't look like it's horribly diseased or about to, start spreading some sort of thing. It just looks fairly normally irritated from some sort of
Sure.
wild creature bite. But it's definitely something that she could take care of.
She'll take care of it for and then she'll
Okay.
give him a really stern look.
Does she want to use the organic purification thing for poison or disease?
Yeah,
That
he
one
does.
is a surcharge.
That's one for the day.
Yeah.
So while
Change that.
she's healing him, I'll say that she realizes, like, oh, there's definitely something extra wrong here. It feels like something's pushing back against her healing. So when she can tell that there's something kind of like resisting her efforts to heal him, she's gonna focus a little harder and try and get rid of the whatever it is fighting her.
Okay. Yeah, so
I think you ought to be staying out of these cave explorations moving forward. Nothing personal.
he he definitely looks embarrassed and just sort of mumbles something non-committal. So that's one effort for the day for Saoirse. um, and about the time she does that, you all hear an echoing boom come from the direction of the rope and the cavern above. And your teleporter friend perks up and tells Saoirse, "I can feel it coming back to me. Think I'm ready to go."
And not a moment too soon.
That's right. Now I'll be on my way back as soon as I can, but you'll need to hold out. I'll be coming back into that cave, so do whatever it takes, but be there. And he hurries over to the soldiers, and he and 6 of them disappear. Now, you guys were the, the idea had been floated, sending Brother Nick and Java back. Had you guys decided one way or the other about that?
We probably should.
We
Yeah.
should, but I don't
If
want to.
if if the characters said
With the party?
anything,
I mean,
I'll
Java
leave it
would
up.
go back if someone had told him he can't be healed again.
yeah,
Yeah, would Saoirse have made it clear to the two of them the situation they're in?
I think she would have tried to find the time to do it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely been time in all the cave exploration and preparation, waiting for the grav tank to arrive. So yeah, then it's up to Avery and Ethan to decide what Brother Nick and Java would decide or be willing to do.
Well, one of them could play George, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Java would be willing to go back. He's not particularly enthused with staying here.
hmm Okay. Yeah, there's no reason why um Ethan and Avery have to be totally uninvolved, I wouldn't mind giving them a couple NPCs to fill out the spot.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Ethan?
His brother Nick could be persuaded to go. I think he'd feel bad about it.
What would
Saoirse would have sent Nero to ask him to go back.
Uh,
There she goes, fighting
Would
her.
you would you would you want to roleplay that?
yeah, I'd be fine with that. This is probably some kind of earlier roleplay before Nero got herself stuck in a cave with no teleporter.
Yeah, this will be a little flashback.
Okay. Yeah. She will say that it was right after Nero placed the demo charges. Saoirse pulled her aside and told Nero.
Listen, I need you to talk to Brother Nick.
What?
I need you to talk to Brother Nick about going back when the teleporter has his wits about him and is able to take someone. I want Brother Nick to go, along with Java. I can't heal them any more than I already have, and things are going to get more dangerous than they were above. Can you talk to him? I
Yeah.
feel like he'd listen to you more than he'd listen.
Okay. The
Saoirse's gonna look like visibly relieved.
and Nero looks not suspicious, dubious. But she's given Saoirse that kind of dubious side eye as she's starting to walk away from her. But then she does, look over for Brother Nick and make her way to him. The charge is in place.
Oh, good.
Where's the controller for it?
Uh, I have it here.
Okay, give it to me.
That's he'll look at it and say, why do you need it? We're not
You
blowing
have
it
to go
now.
back, Brother Nick.
Pulling no punches, wasting no time.
Saoirse says you can die too easy, and we need you. Your body can't take any more of what she does.
He'll just try to stand up and put on some false bravado and say, "Nonsense! I'm as fit as a fiddle."
I trust Saoirse more than your fiddle.
Say, well, maybe I am a little banged up, but
Brother Nick, you are more
everything
important
well
to
is out
this
first.
resistance. You're the brains. You have to go back.
Say, no, I should stay. These men shouldn't pay for my mistakes. I was too slow.
If you stay and if you die, more people will pay for your mistakes.
So let's go quiet and then think for a while.
She reaches over and puts a hand on his shoulder. This is the right thing to do. Java is
so
going too. You have to watch after him. She says that one a little bit quieter. You know, for narrow quiet.
Stage whisper, you mean?
Yeah. I'm not sure it even gets down that low.
I'm not saying nothing.
so look back at her and can see you say, okay. But you stay safe too, Nero. They need your heart much more than they need my brain.
They need us both. Controller.
Oh.
And she puts her hand out for it.
Yeah, so I'll hand her the detonator and give her a quick hug.
She hugs him back. I won't be far behind you.
Yeah, I'll just whisper, be safe.
Yeah. Well, she says that after he says be safe. I won't be far behind you. No, pulls away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nicely done, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and I think then we're probably ready to return to present time. And a few moments later, there's almost in sync with another resounding boom coming from up above. Teleporter reappears in the spot that he'd left, turns to make sure everyone's gathered, looking for Java and Brother Nick. And Reese and George quickly clasp arms with a couple of their comrades and take a step back. Any last words before goodbyes? I should say, or goodbyes.
Nara dies for it.
Nero does what?
She dives for a fallen rice cake.
Java
Oh.
dropped a rice cake for dramatic effect.
Oh
Ow.
man.
I
Is
just
that like
missed
a
that.
mic drop, but Java edition?
Yep, a rice cake drop.
That is hilarious. All right.
Like a Frodo
That is now
diving through
canon.
a ring dramatic.
Evasion save from Nero.
Boom.
All right. So Java makes eye contact with Nero, then suddenly produces a rice cake and lets go as he disappears with the rest of them.
And Nero leaps for it, crashes into it, cradles it, and tucks into a roll.
Word. Saoirse's gonna face palm.
Yeah.
Next thing anybody heard was the crunching of rice cake.
So, Nara is also now there and hearing she heard at least one of the booms here
Mhm.
echoing through the cave. Is she waiting?
Um,
Keep it red.
oh, what was that, Ethan?
I saw Ben's note of who stayed behind. He
Oh.
cut me off at the pass from our second NPC being Fred.
What was it? Oh, you were trying to say NPC. Let's call him Fred. I mean, you're welcome to call him Fred, but he might be confused.
So would everyone have wanted Nero to have her finger on the button, or would Cade or Saoirse have preferred to be on that?
Kid would probably have just glanced and said, "At least wait till you see somebody coming down the road, please." And
Real
I
quick,
glance at Saoirse.
I thought the plan was to trigger it with the blast from the grav tank so that it looked like the grav tank did that.
Oh.
Was-
Yeah, probably brain farted.
That's okay.
That was definitely the original plan. I think you guys somebody had floated the idea of waiting until people were coming down and then blasting them, but um,
Okay. What do we prefer? Do we like, so the difference is waiting until they come down and blasting it um kills them and lets them know that we're still threats and part of, whatever resistance. um Collapsing it with a grav tank blast leaves them with at least some doubt.
Yeah, do it with the grav tank blast.
Okay. Okay. Then Nero will suggest that they start their way down the tunnel, and she'll take up the rear, and she'll she's kind of banking on her own athleticism to scramble down this passage and get out of any fallen debris if there is any. So she's motioning towards the cave. Go, I'll hit it. Did everyone go silent or just me?
It was out of respect.
Oh, okay.
Just waiting for you to blow it.
Oh, okay. Do Saoirse and Cade and the George and Fred start on their way down the tunnel?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah,
Don't
that's
want to be that close to the charge.
mm-hmm. That's the plan there, Ben, is to Nara does want to keep an eye on that just in case there is no third blast. Um then she would trigger it if she sees anybody coming down. But as the plan is third blast, charge goes boom, Nero scrambles down after the rest of them.
Okay, sorry, run that by me one more time.
So everyone else is going down the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Nero is staying behind at the edge of it to where she can still see if anybody does start climbing down. Um, If there's a third blast before she sees anybody climbing down, then she'll trigger the bomb. If she sees anybody climbing down, she will trigger the bomb.
Alrighty then.
And once she does trigger the bomb, then she is going to scramble down that passage and try to avoid any debris that might try to bury her.
Alrighty then.
Oh, I think I just had an idea.
Ideas are good.
Great idea.
I'm double checking.
Oh, okay. That is also.
How big was that cave that the bats went into? The opening.
It was actually it was a little taller than the one that you guys are going into at the moment, and a little
Well,
bit more even. It was about tall enough for everybody to walk upright.
so it would fit if we used the 3x3 meter waterproof tarp in the survival kit to
Hmm.
close that off so the bats can't get in.
That could be done, yeah.
Cool. Cade will definitely suggest, hey, I thought of a way we could take care of those bats. Let's close the entrance to that one with a tarp. Throw a glow bug under it too, just in case the Chalukins come looking. He chuckled to himself.
Okay.
Saoirse would be okay with that plan.
Let me see here. So, Ethan's taking Fred.
These red shirts aren't gonna last long, guys.
Oh no, at least let them last long enough for me to roll them up in a person of interest.
What? What? Didn't you say that one of them actually is Reese, Ben?
That was overruled.
Oh, okay. So we got George and
George-
Fred.
Second
George and
Awesome.
Fred.
behind their crack commandos, Fred and George.
That
Let's
actually
go.
makes sense also. Reese is kind of important to this whole endeavor as well.
Forgot what he's a telepath, right?
He's a telepath. He had at first. So yeah, well, we can have a quick rewind. This will be fun.
Wow.
A quick flashback. So when Saoirse had talked with Reese, um, he had at first said, "Okay," thought for a moment and said, "Yeah, George and I will stay behind and accompany you." And either at the protest of his men or anyone else who kind of pushed him on it, say, "Well," and he would have gotten a distant look in his eyes for a moment. Saoirse would have detected a use of psionics, the oracle power.
And who is this?
Reese.
Oh, wow. So he's a precog?
After which, um, he would uh, he would tell Saoirse, Actually, Fred can stay in my place.
She'll
That
Yep.
would be
snort.
best.
You didn't tell me you had that trick up your sleeve. Does that put us as even then?
He looks a little confused. What are you talking about?
She looks at him, trying to discern if he has kept that a secret from other people or not. Would he be, like, looking around at all, or
Um, no, he just he's just looking at her.
and she realizes that by saying, "You just looked into the future," she would give away that she's a meta scientist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Basically. Turned out to be a jerk.
She's gonna
Talking about
normally, she's very careful about a lot of these things, but come a little too close to death too many times a day to care, so she's like, "At this point, whatever." And then she's gonna say, "You're a little peeking into the future, Shrek. You didn't tell me about it."
he looks very surprised at this point and just stammers for a moment. Well, wasn't he takes her arm and walks her away a few steps. Uh, gives kind
She
of
she
a
does not
chuckle, haha,
her face looks very, conflicted.
and he drop his voice a little bit
"Now
and
listen,
say,
I don't know what you saw, but I am a lady, and I'm going to need to slow down a bit."
he he takes his hand off her arm but lowers his voice and says, "Look, it's not exactly common knowledge, so if you wouldn't mind keeping that between us, that would be helpful."
"Hmm,
Now, he says, not really sure how it'll go for Fred, but if I'd stayed, it wasn't going to work out so well. I don't know if it's because I'm prone to doing stupid things or what, but
right? How well does it work out for the rest of us?"
he shrugs. Can't really say, especially if I'm not here. It may go completely differently. The universe is a strange place. You'd think it would be about the same, but couldn't really explain why it works that way. I just know that it does. Think something's surefire and then something you didn't account for or hadn't happened yet changes everything. It's really not
That's the
as,
voice of experience.
yeah, it's really not all it's cracked up to be. Seeing into the future and all.
Hmm.
Anyway, uh, he gives her just a little pat on the shoulder and says, again, I would really appreciate your discretion on this. And he looks at her hopefully.
All right. Keep your secret. But
And I'll keep
I'll
yours.
expect you to make it up to me at some point. Oh, mine's not as much a secret as it is for you. I think it's a little bit more balanced in my favor than for you at the moment.
He gives her a slightly skeptical look.
I hold this card. I hold it.
She'll 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 be kind of grinning at him, like hoping he sees it as sort of a joke, but
Yeah, he seems not to have taken it too personally.
I'm sure
Right,
he's seen in
so
the future where she dies and he's like, yeah, you're not telling anybody. Sorry, too dark.
That's funny. All right, so back to present. They have teleported away. Fred and George are left behind, and are following. They seem willing to follow Saoirse's orders. Is that right, Avery, Ethan?
Yeah, I'm down for the ride.
Okay, no one going rogue right off the bat.
Oh my.
uh, oh, I saw that edit, Ethan. um, so Nero is waiting. She's at the bottom of the shaft. And she's waiting either for another explosion or for people at the top of the shaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she
Yes.
waits a minute or so, and she can just faintly hear the echo of, sounds like maybe boots scraping on stone, just
Ah.
barely making its way down the shaft. And then a few moments later, she sees a a pair of uh, faces peek over the edge. One in a helmet, the other one in an assault suit helmet.
No, I don't think that she was close enough that she'd be able to see them peeking over the edge.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, she was wanting to be back here.
Oh, okay. I
Probably just waiting to see the rope swing
Yeah.
from side to side as they climb down.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood how you worded it. I thought you were wanting to be able to see them at the
That's
opening up
why
top.
you sounded so skeptical of it when I said, and then she'll avoid the collapse. Yeah. She's all the way back here to avoid the collapse.
Well, no, I mean she's quick. That I wasn't skeptical specifically about her dodging the collapse.
Oh, okay.
I was just wanting to make sure that I heard correctly, and I guess I should have clarified your intent. But okay. So yeah, in that case, she would hear nothing. She would just be watching the rope, and she would see it twitch.
All right, it's time to go boom.
Okay.
They're not blasting in with the grav tank anymore. That's got to come down.
All right. She
Does
clicks.
she say that on the comms?
Um.
The alright, it's time to go boom.
Oh man.
I don't think she says that. No.
Aw.
What she does say is, "Boom," and then half a second later, for effect, the big boom.
All right. She presses the button on the detonator and is assaulted by a deafening boom echoing down the shaft and reverberating around the cavern. And she feels a subtle tremble in the ground, but then starts seeing rocks and dirt, dust, all kinds of debris falling down the shaft. Is she making a break for the tunnel right away? Is she waiting to see what happens?
If it doesn't look like there's an avalanche coming towards her, she will wait and see what happens.
Okay. It does not look that way.
Okay.
A lot of loose rocks and things come bouncing out of that opening and skitter across the floor of the cavern a little ways. Some larger chunks she can hear ricocheting down and eventually crash into the floor. Um, in the midst of rocks falling, she also does see one arm come thudding down.
just the arm.
Just the
Just an arm.
arm.
Yeah.
Decapitation.
I don't think that's what that word. I don't think that word means what you.
I think he's
Fine.
extrapolating.
Fine. The head might still be on there.
All right, fine. It has become canon. Nero did say, "All right, it's time to go." Boom.
Like boom. So yeah. After a few moments, the rocks stop falling, and there's a decent little pile up in at that end of the cavern. Doesn't quite fully block the shaft up. There's still room for somebody to get up or down. They
Ah.
just have to squeeze through a bit smaller opening now. Meanwhile, everyone else has been quickly scrambling / crawling through that tunnel. And so we can pretty quickly fast forward on to arriving in the cavern.
Nero,
As
once she saw that there was enough room for somebody to come down, she took her leave and went to catch up with them.
okay.
Sorry to cut you off there. I just wanted to throw in that yes, Nero is catching up.
No, that's fine. I was about to ask what she was wanting to do. And so yeah, a few minutes later, everyone has entered the cavern. Nero came behind just a minute later. And what's the plan now? There was mention of the tarp.
Yeah, I was thinking about using the tarp to cover up the cave entrance where the bats hid.
Okay.
That should be pretty simple.
Alrighty then. Yeah, it is. And
He'll
somebody
throw
have
a
a
glow bug
metatool?
on the other side to draw any Tabukan attention if they come looking.
Okay, yeah.
Just to give them grief.
Does Cade have a meta tool?
I don't think that's included with the kit.
Oh, the survival kit? No, it's not.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have a meta tool because he's not usually doing repair things.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a meta tool?
Brother Nick did, I'm sure.
I
But...
think Nero does. Yeah, Nero does.
Okay, well, he'll be like, "Hey, Nero, give me a hand over here."
All right, she can help him with that.
Okay. Yeah, and even to her, with her relatively untrained eye, it's not too complicated to use it for this purpose as opposed to her usual preference. She's able to help him affix the tarp in place. As they get up close to the mouth of that tunnel, they do catch just a whiff of a fairly foul smell. Smells probably like rotting meat.
Oh, fun.
Lovely.
Just the faintest whiff of it coming from deeper in that tunnel. But in short order, you have the tarp fixed in place, and you all are left to wait.
Is George glaring at Nero?
Yes, of course.
Hmm. I think at some point she looks over at him. It was my rice cake.
It's not like we've been in a cave for
Oh no.
God knows how long,
Oh no.
but glad you enjoyed the cake.
Nero's face falls.
George is the one who's afraid of
The
Yeah,
bats.
bats.
bats, right?
Yeah, how's he doing in the cave, by the way? You guys haven't heard any bats since you've been in this cavern.
My image in my head, he's just mainly irritated with Nero.
Mhm.
Because I imagine, how long would they have been in this cave?
Yeah.
You're talking about the soldiers before everybody showed up?
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't have been in this cavern, but up in that other little cavern that you guys left. Uh, he knows it's been 4 days.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably not worried about the bats. He's probably really just upset with Nero.
Yeah, they're he's still got half of a ration pack, but they've been eating pretty lightly on those already.
Oh, and he's probably sick of them.
Oh yeah. You betcha.
Nero finally says, I didn't think about that.
I do
Yep.
need sneak checks from Nero and Cade.
Okay.
Sneak
Just
what? Dex, I'm
Dex,
assuming?
yeah. Yeah. I was distracted by the prospect of George's
Can I
revenge.
do sneak charisma?
No, you may not.
I'll reroll.
Yeah, go ahead and reroll that. Okay. Yeah, several minutes pass. You guys doing anything to pass the time, or are you just chilling?
Nero digs in her pack and pulls out what rations we've got left.
Okay.
Well,
She
Cade will probably point out that we should shelter opposite from that opening since we're using it as a little bit of a decoy.
Mhm.
But other than that, yeah, whatever.
So yeah, Nero pulls out some rations, actually, probably a couple packs that pretty similar to what the Uralans have been using.
she holds them out to George. I have these.
George takes your rations, but he doesn't seem any more content with the situation.
You just take all of them.
Oh yeah, he takes anything Nero tried to hand him.
Yeah,
That
it's
is not.
just 2 rations. She deftly maneuvered the candy bar, whatever it was, so that it was not brought up from her pack. Nero might be a cinnamon roll sometimes, but she's not willing to give up her cinnamon rolls.
Bread,
not even in the
food.
face of guilt. All right, well, it's the end of our session, I believe.
Oh, wow, didn't even notice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we could
I thought we were gonna at least get to fight Tavukin, but apparently
go a
not.
little bit. We could go a little bit longer if you guys want.
I mean, I'm feeling it.
I'm good for it.
Okay, well.
I mean, I'm feeling it as in I'm tired already, but
Oh.
No.
I was thinking, I was like, that could be
As in
interpreted 2 ways. Is he gonna
you're
expound on
feeling the
that?
late hour, or
oh, feeling the late hour. I've had bad sleep for like 2-3 weeks, and I'm finally starting to catch up on it. But plus, if we start a combat, that's not going to take 20 minutes. Just saying,
Oh no,
it's not gonna
definitely.
what?
take 20 minutes.
It might take longer than that, yeah.
We definitely wouldn't finish a combat tonight by any means. Could make for an
Yeah,
entertaining-
oftentimes it takes 20 minutes just to start the combat.
Yeah. Combat be slowing things down for sure. Oh man. George being ultimate sass here.
It's kind of deserved.
Did you make a sheet for him? How are you getting it with just George as the emote?
I don't know. I just have that power.
Yeah, I made a Fred and a George. I thought they would pop up on your screens when I assigned them to you. I guess not.
No, you have to click the show button.
Um,
And then it'll show
That's
it
true.
to either everyone, if nobody's been assigned, or only to people that can control it, or that have
Yeah.
edit privileges.
Good deal. Yeah. So it should have probably just showed
Yep.
each of them their one character.
Yeah, it popped up. George has 0 hit points.
Well, that should be familiar territory for you, Avery.
Oh.
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 George goes limp.
Sick burn. Oh crap, he's dying now.
He couldn't take the burn.
I was gonna leave it to you to have the fun of rolling hit points for him.
All right,
Level is he?
There's an HP button, but yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up then.
looks like I'm first on faves.
Mm-hmm.
That's good because I have it already. Thank you, Danielle, for setting this up. As kind of a bump set spike, or some sport term that I don't know how to properly use because I'm not a sports guy. That role play between Nero and Brother Nick was excellent. Really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, I thought it.
Yeah. Brother Nick and Nero seem to have a strong relationship. We just don't get to role play them together too often. So this was nice.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Thank you, Dex. Ethan, what about you?
I think Fred and George. And if there's an anti-favorite, it's this bat violence that occurred.
Bat violent.
Hmm.
Gotta watch out for the bats. Little batty boys.
Hates.
We'll make an exception here for you. Usually don't accept negative feedback, but it wasn't explicitly directed at me, so I'll allow it this one. Kidding, but yeah, I saw your well-timed little sad face. I just unleashed on the bats. All right, Robert.
Oh, I think it has to go to. All right, it's time to go boom.
That was probably my favorite quote in the sure.
Yeah.
That was nice. Now, did Nero say that just to herself, or did she say it into comms?
Oh,
No.
that's definitely in the comms.
Okay.
Unintentionally. Because
I was gonna say, I feel like it would be canon that Nero is the type of person to forget to turn off comms.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Oh, we already established that way back at the club.
Yeah. That is a cemented character trait that can't just be undone in a night's work.
Yeah, no. And nobody's really, talked to her about it, so.
Yeah. Been left alone. Nobody wants to be that guy.
And I think now that it's canon that she did say that, I think it was one of the few times that she sounded more quiet. It was probably more like, "All right, it's time to go boom," like she was excitedly saying it to herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like one of those moments, like I've been going over this line in my head for this exact moment.
Nah,
Those kind of things.
no, I don't think she was rehearsing it. No, that's putting too much into it, Ben.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I tend to do that. All right. Enough of my extrapolating. Avery, what about your favorite?
I trust Susha more than your fiddle.
That was a good one.
And also the immediate hate for George. Because I'm gonna run with that. He's gonna earn it.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with Fred and George. Um, yeah, I think I'd say my favorites. Um, Definitely Fred and George feature in my favorites. Got at least one other thing. I think tonight something I just really enjoyed was all of the, I guess, strategizing, but just
Ugh.
basically trying to reason through your options.
Funny enough, that was my least favorite portion of the night, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Ouch.
Right, yeah, it's one of those things I enjoy seeing how you guys organically, put the pieces of the scenario and the puzzle together and try to figure out what the best solution is. I don't know. There's just something magical about that to me. Especially when people think of things that you were hoping they would think of, but not like too easily, if you know what I mean. Like, I want you guys to figure out good ways to do things, but not just it be super obvious, like
Mhm.
staring you right in the face, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
I'll put it that way. I'll call it the party's reasoning skills. Um, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. Danielle, what about you?
Getting to call Reese out after he'd just been like, "You didn't tell me you could heal people." Then he'd be like, "You didn't tell me you could see the future." So we're even.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely the same.
What's definitely the same.
the the magnitude of the calling out in those two situations. Mm. Yeah, that was definitely a close runner up for me. That moment of her catching him and then actually like calling him on it because he was just kind of expecting to get the mutual psycher kind of um, etiquette, consideration, and so he definitely caught him on his back foot by just hitting him straight up with it. And being kind of unwilling at first to even keep it a secret. Like, oh, why should I do that, basically? having to be.
She really just
persuaded
wants a
little bit.
coffee date with the cute psychic. That's all it is.
Ah, so she's going for the blackmail angle. I guess. Let's see. Is that extortion at that point?
Not sure.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think
like.
she really cares what you call it at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. I think this would be blackmail. Yeah, because she'll be like, yeah, you can take me on a date if you want me to not reveal what I know.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, because extortion is more like threatening somebody explicitly. Anyway, I digress. The more you know, kids. In case you ever need to make a careful distinction between blackmail and extortion. Don't tell anybody you learned it here.
This is family friendly. By family friendly, we mean we're going to teach your kids things they need to know.
Okay. Anyway, it is very late. Thank you, everybody. That was a very fun session. Take 1 XP. And let me see. I'm actually realizing I'm not sure what we're doing this next Monday.
Hmm.
It is a holiday.
Because
Well, you have to work Tuesday, right?
I do have to work Tuesday, so we're gonna have to get back Monday night, but I don't know. I mean, it is a long drive, and I don't know exactly what the plans are on Monday. Do you remember if did they tell us what like the itinerary is for Monday?
Before you
I don't think
continue
so.
on, you want me to go ahead and cut the stream?
Oh yeah, sure. We can
Okay.
have that conversation offline.
Yeah,
Thank you,
probably don't need to
everybody.
tell everyone, everything you're doing over the next week.
We're gonna be in this place at this time. Yeah.
Good night,
Very true.
viewers. Thank you.
Bye bye.